Hey everybody, Kevin here, and welcome back to another episode of Woodworking with Mr. Kevin. Today I'd like to talk to you about finishing. Just my thoughts, a few little thoughts I had about finishing. I've been finishing all week, and I wanted to share those with you. And the first thing we're going to talk about are guns and hoses. And then when we get done with that, we're going to talk about the difference between a water-based polyurethane and pre-catalyzed lacquer. And then we're going to talk a little bit about compressors and the size compressor you need, and a little safety with some masks and the proper mask you should wear when you're spray and finish at all times. And that'll be it. Okay, let's get to it. And here we go. Oh, I'm back. All right, so the first thing we're going to talk about are guns and hoses. Guns and hoses. That sounds weird. All right, let's get on with the hoses first, because this is the worst hose in the world, and I have two of them. And the reason it's the worst hose in the world is because it's so thin when you step on it, you smash it, and when you're spraying finish, it stops your gun and splatters finish all over your project. And that sucks. But I have two of them. Why? Because they're $30 and they're 50 feet long, and they tie up in a knot like this. And I like aggravation, so I have hoses like this. These are jelly hoses, and they're crap. My favorite hose is this guy right here. And this is, I don't know what it is, but it's yellow and it's 3/8 hose. It's very strong. You can step on it all day long at 225 pounds that I am, and I can't stop the airflow at all. And that's a good thing. Plus, you can see it doesn't really like to tie itself up in a knot like this damn thing does. I mean, this guy does it too, a little bit, but these guys lay on the floor, and every time you turn them, let's see if I can show you. So every time you turn this hose, and you turn it again, and turn it again, it gets into this knot, and it starts doing this. Look at that. And then you turn it again, and it gets into a knot. See that? And then you're spraying, and every time you turn, it does this. The next thing you know, it's standing up like that, and your foot goes in there, and you trip over it. Or worse, you step on it when you're spraying. Yeah. This is the bane of my existence right here, these frickin' hoses. But they're cheap and they work, and I have two of them because they're cheap and I can afford them. Oh, and don't leave them out in the sun, because I had one explode because it got so old from sitting on the side of my bench out here in the sun, and it exploded. But they're cheap. And yeah, just don't step on them. Be careful. Okay, so after the hoses, the other thing you want to get, see, it just twisted itself off there. You damn thing. So the next thing we need to talk about is compressors. I have two compressors that I use. For finishing, I use a 40 gallon, and I'm going to laugh about it, a 40-gallon Craftsman that I've had for 20 years. I've had it. A friend of mine used it in his company for about 4 or 5 years when I was on the road all the time installing. Gave it back to me, and now I use it all the time because I started my own business. And I still have it. The other thing I have is this guy right here. And this is basically a water trap. So the air goes in here, goes through this side, and then goes through that side. You push a little button there to drain the water out, because it's fill up with water after you used it for a while. And then it comes out this side. You can adjust the pressure right here. I always have it set to 25 pounds. And then I downgrade it on my, my guns right here with this little knob. We'll explain guns later. But yeah, so you want to make sure if you're using a compressor, you want an air trap of some kind, because you don't want to spray any contaminants from your gun, from your compressor, from your hose onto your project. Not good. All right, let's talk about guns, right? Guns and hoses. We threw a compressor in there, but whatever. All right, my favorite guns that I use are gravity-fed HVLP cup guns. This is a Binks M1, what is this, M1G? And I have a Devilbiss. I've got a Devilbiss GTI Millennium Falcon. I have too many guns. And this gun here, I got at the Harbor Freight. I figured I need something to spray white lacquer with, because I didn't want to put it through my other guns, so I bought this guy for like 40 bucks. And you can tell it leaked all over the place and splattered and sucked. And then I have this little Graco, which works really good. This little guy was about 85 bucks, a little tiny guy, so I had a little project I had to get in there. But the problem is the cup on the top, little cap keeps falling off because it gets old and the lacquer ate a hole in it, and you can see it's just all broke up. Goes on there, but usually just falls off. So yeah. All right, we'll get into the big guns. The big guns I use, these HVLP guns, the Binks I've had for probably 12, 15 years. This guy right here, I just bought like 3 years ago. This gun costs almost $400. This one is 600 and something.
What?
And you're like, what the hell? I can't afford that. I know, but I do this professionally and I'm a contractor. I have to spray projects and they have to last forever. And that's why I have these expensive guns. They lay down finish like magic. And it all has to do with these little tips right here. These tips here. This gun came with 3 different size tips, 1.3 to 1.5. This one had 2 different tips. I can't remember what the sizes were. This is my Lacquer gun, and this is my Waterbased gun. See all the crap on there? You know why this gun's dirty? Because you got to clean it with lacquer thinner. And I hate the smell of lacquer thinner. Ugh. And that's why I don't use catalyzed lacquer anymore. I use Waterbased. Look how clean that is. You know why? I could take this and I can clean this in my sink.
What?
Nice warm soapy water, wash it all up, boom, 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 boom. Doesn't smell at all. It barely smells like paint. You know how the smell of paint is when you paint a room? This doesn't even smell that bad. So there's other guns that you could buy. All right? These are the ones I recommend because they're easy, they're versatile, and simple to use. You can also get the Apollo, the Apollo series guns with the 5-stage plug-in thing. It's got the bigger hose on it, and they have gravity feed on them also. But they have the little 5-stage little gizmo in here with the big hose on there that has warm air that blows out, and those things are amazing. The place I used to work at, we had one. We also had a conventional gun, which is a gun like this with air that comes out here, but it also has a fluid tip that comes out here, and this you can hook up to like 2 or 3 gallon bucket and you just spray all day if you wanted to. For me, that's too cumbersome and big. There's also a siphon HVLP gun. I'll put a picture of it right here. Okay, the cup's down here, not up here. When I spray, I'm so used to spraying like this now. The cup down below, I keep bumping it into things. I have one somewhere, but I prefer the gravity feed HVLP cup guns. Okay. Now we're going to get into catalyzed lacquer versus the water-based finish. Ooh. All right, for years I sprayed. It was Chemcraft, then Valspar bought out Chemcraft, and then these guys, whoever these guys are, bought out Valspar. It's all the same finish, the same damn thing, just different company. Catalyzed lacquer is very durable. It dries fast, so if you're in a hurry, it's really good to spray. It's super durable. The only problem is it stinks. It smells like a nail salon. So if you ever walk through the mall and you get close to the nail salon, you can smell it from about a block away. Well, that's the way my entire shop, my house, and the neighborhood would smell when I sprayed this stuff. Oh my goodness. So I sprayed catalyzed lacquer for 10 years, and I kept hearing about water-based finish, and I'd try a quart and it sucked. And I'd just stick with this, and it smelled up my entire shop. I went through gallons of lacquer thinner, because everything that's in your gun you have to clean with lacquer thinner. All the little parts and the needles and the springs and the filter that's up in here and the cup and all that. Everything has to be cleaned. All this right here has to be cleaned with lacquer thinner, and it just stinks. And you got to wear gloves and you got to wear a mask. So I sprayed this for years and years, and I kept hearing about water-based finish. You got to try it. And I have a friend of mine that has a cabinet shop, and he's like, "That's all I spray now. It really sprays good." So I went out and bought a quart of it, and I tried it. And I used this gun, which was a mistake because the needle on this and the size is too small for water-based finish, and he let me use one of his guns. And I sprayed this stuff right here. They're not a sponsor. Nobody's a sponsor. I buy all this crap myself. This is General Finishes. They make pretty damn good finish. I sprayed this, and I couldn't believe how easy it was to spray. It's like spraying water on something. If you've ever taken, and that's how you should actually practice, is put water in a gun and try spraying it to try to adjust your nozzle. And we're going to go over how all this crap works in the next video.
Awesome.
Coming up. So I tried this and I'm like, holy crap. All right. So then I made a little project and I was like, oh, I'm going to try water-based on it, and went about a gallon of it. This is about 90 some odd dollars a gallon. This is about 45. There's a difference. This stinks and this doesn't. This cleans up with water. This cleans up with lacquer thinner. What do you want to do? What's your health worth? You should still wear a mask like this though. Organic vapor mask. Never spray without it. Organic vapor. Don't buy M95 mask and think it's going to work. No. If you can smell it, you're inhaling it. you can't smell squat wearing this. You could stick your head in a bucket of lacquer thinner and not smell it. So M95, no. Organic vapor filter mask, yes. 3M silicone mask, beautiful. And you get the Darth Vader one too. Luke, I am your father, Luke. Yeah. I spray with this. Now I'm going to tell you the pros and cons. The pros about this is it dries faster, it's very durable, and it dries faster and it's very durable. And you can repair it once it's, once it's dry and everything. It's pretty easy to repair. It's not too hard. And it sands up really nice, and it's very fast and durable. Did I say that? Fast and durable. The cons, it stinks. And it stinks, and you have to use lacquer thinner to clean up everything, and it stinks. Yeah, it stinks. Oh, and when you're spraying this stuff, if you have a little dry spot and you want to come back and go, okay, I just got to fix that a little bit. Psst. Nope, it's going to make it even worse because your material that's on here is already flashing off and drying. You try to spray a little bit over it to fill it in because it looks a little dry because you missed a spot. It's going to make a huge dry spot and it'll stay there forever and you have to rub it out later on. Trust me on this. Oh, look, neighbor's dogs. So the good thing about water-based polyurethane is it doesn't smell and it cleans up easily with water. Soap and water cleans up just nice and clean. Okay, and it sprays, once you get used to spraying it and get the nozzle set the way you like it and the pressure set, it's easier to spray than catalyzed lacquer. If you miss a spot and you have to go back and touch up a piece, oh, I missed a spot right there and I got to touch it up. The water base takes so damn long to dry that you can keep adding to it as long as you don't add too much and it starts to waterfall. But you can add to it if it's laying flat. It works really well. The downside for water-based polyurethane is it takes an hour and a half to dry. You have to have temperatures above 60 degrees, at least what I found. 60 to 65 is good. Anything below that, it's not going to dry right, and you're going to get this weird orange peel look and a little lumpy and bumpy, and it won't lay flat. So it's got to be at least 60 and above. It says more than that. I don't know what it says on here. Let me see if I can. Yeah, HVLP. Use a 1.3 tip, which is good. That's what I use anyway. Respiratory system. 4 hours between coats. 4 hours between coats. And 70 degrees Fahrenheit with 50 to 70% humidity. Okay. Right now, my shop is 61 degrees and it's 57% humidity. So I couldn't spray this right now, this stuff right here. I could spray this, but not that. So that's why you got to keep your shop nice and warm when you're spraying water base. It says 4 hours between coats. You could probably fudge that a little bit. As long as your finish chalks up when you sand it, you can cut the time down. We're going to have a whole show on how long it takes and what it should look like when you're sanding water-based polyurethane and catalyzed lacquer. So that's coming up shortly. The water-based polyurethane nowadays sprays a hell of a lot better. You can also get this colored, so you can spray solid colors. I have a blue kitchen I'm going to do shortly, and I'm actually having them color this to match the Benjamin Moore paint that's on the rest of the house. So that's kind of a plus. You can also do that to this stuff. You got to buy the base white and have somebody mix it up that knows what the hell they're doing. And but here in Humboldt, I can have the guy over here at the lumberyard just mix me up any color I want. So in the cons, like I said, it takes a while to dry. It takes an extra coat or two. And if it gets too cold, it doesn't lay flat and doesn't dry right. So the cold for both of these, for me, matter. This guy here just takes forever to dry and it comes out looking lumpy because it doesn't lay flat. If it gets too cold when I'm spraying catalyzed lacquer and it's very humid out and it's cold, it will turn white. It'll frost out and will turn white. And that's not good because it's hard to get rid of that once it's in there, especially if it's on your final coat and it frosts out. Or it'll look like rainbow color, which is another weird thing. But that's for another day. In the next video, we're going to go over these guns, how to take them apart, how to set them up, and how to spray and get your pattern set for water-based, and catalyzed lacquer. I'll show you how to do them both. And that's what we're going to do in the next video. Along with all the other videos I got coming out, because every 10 minutes I got another thought because my ADHD kicks in. All right, well, the clock says 7. That means I got to go eat. And yeah, thanks for watching. Hopefully that was helpful to somebody. And when we do all the guns, I'm going to show you what parts you need to buy, because people buy these repair part kit things that cost $85 and you don't need them. I have all the parts right here that wear out the most and that you use the most. And we'll go over that in the next video.
Awesome.
And we'll probably either go with another finishing video coming up, or another jig building video. Depends on what I got to do next. All right, well, thanks for watching, everybody. Hopefully that was helpful to somebody. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, like, hit the notification bell, fling, flang, the bang, bang, which I have no idea what that means, but it just came out one day and it stayed. So, yeah, that's where that came from. You have an awesome day. Go outside and play. Hug somebody you love. Be safe out there, and I'll see you next time right here on Woodworking with Mr. Kevin. Whatever video it's going to be, I'm sure it'll be as silly as this one. All right, everybody, here we go. I'm gonna disappear me with a hunk of wood. Ready? And go. That's pretty cool. Can I come back with the... Hey, I'm back. Check it out. That was pretty awesome. Try it again. I'm gone. I'm back. Wow. We'll see you later. Bye. Spraying finish on your woodworking or spraying finish on your woodworking project. I don't know if that helped anybody at all. Probably confused everybody. What's he talking about? And poly or so I'm gonna do the fastest finishing blah 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 you've ever heard in your entire life. Fooled you.